verses 25 to 30. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن لم يستطع منكم طولا أن ينكح المحصنات المؤمنات فمما ملكت أيمانكم من فتياتكم المؤمنات والله أعلم بإيمانكم بعضكم من بعض فانكحوهن بإذن أهلهن وآتوهن أجورهن بالمعروف محصنات غير مسافحات ولا متخذات أخدان فإذا أحصن فإن أتين بفاحشة فعليهن نصف ما على المحصنات من العذاب ذلك لمن خشي العنة منكم وأن تصبروا خير لكم والله غفور رحيم. If any of you have not the means wherewith to wed free believing women, they may wed believing girls from among those whom your right hands possess. And Allah has full knowledge about your fates. Ye are one from another. Wed them with the leave of their owners and give them their dowers according to what is reasonable. They should be chaste, not fornicators, not taking adulterous. When they are taken in wedlock, if they commit indecency, their punishment is half that for free women. This permission is for those among you who fear sin, but it is better for you that ye practice self-restraint, and Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. يريد الله ليبين لكم ويهديكم سنن الذين من قبلكم ويتوب عليكم والله عليم حكيم. Allah does wish to make clear to you and to guide you into the ways of those before you. And He does wish to turn to you in mercy, and Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. وَاللَّهُ يُرِيدُ أَن يَتُوبَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَيُرِيدُ الَّذِينَ يَتَّبِعُونَ الشَّهَوَاتِ أَن تَمِيلُوا مَيْلًا عَظِيمًا. Allah does wish to turn to you, but the wish of those who follow their lust is that you should turn away from Him far, far away. يريد الله أن يخفف عنكم وخلق الإنسان ضعيفا. Allah does wish to lighten your burdens, for man was created weak in resolution. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم ولا تقتلوا أنفسكم إن الله كان بكم رحيما. O ye who believe, eat not up your property among yourselves in vanities, but let there be amongst you traffic and trade by mutual goodwill, nor kill or destroy yourselves. Verily Allah has been to you most merciful. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ عُدْوَانًا وَظُلْمًا فَسَوْفَ نُصْلِيهِ نَارًا وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرًا. If any do that in rancor and injustice, soon shall we cast him into the fire, and easy it is for Allah. Now let us come back to the verse 25th. which says that those people among you who can't afford to marry the believing woman, the chaste believing woman, then they are allowed to marry those whom your right hand possess among your believing slave girls. Now that is the issue which is dealt with here in this ayah, that first of all a man should try to marry a free woman, not a slave woman. But if he can't afford to marry a free woman, then that is the one condition, that he can't afford a free woman. He can't afford the dowry. And the second condition which is given in the end of this ayah, ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَشِيَ الْعَنَةَ مِنْكُمْ. This permission is for those among you who fear sin, who fear that they may commit adultery if they don't marry. So if these two conditions are found, then they are allowed to marry slave girls. But what type of slave girls? Muslim, the believer slave girls, not the kafir ones. Now here, there are two conditions that are mentioned, as I said, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ مِنْكُمْ طَوْلًا. The person who can't afford from among you طَوْلًا. طَوْلًا, the translation which is given here, it means the dower amount or the ability to marry. That is the obvious meaning. So he can marry a believing woman from among the slave girls. But another explanation is given by some mufassirin, which says that tawlan here means the tawlan itself is it means that he can't, it means here al-hurra, the free woman. The free woman, that the person who can't afford to marry a free woman. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ مِنْكُمْ طَوْلًا, then he could go for a slave girl. It means that he got already one woman. He is already wed to one woman, and he wants to marry another woman. And he can't have this woman marry. Anyhow, he does not find someone suitable to him. Then he is allowed to marry a slave girl. Or it can also mean then that the person is too fond of the slave girl, or he is in love with the slave girl, and he can't have patience without her. So in that condition, if that is the situation, then he can marry a slave girl, that slave girl whom he loves. But anyhow, the first meaning is the most acceptable meaning, which says that if someone can't afford the dowry for a free woman, then he can go for a slave girl, and he can marry her. So it means that Islam emphasizes upon marrying the free woman, because when you marry a free woman, your child would be free as well. And when you marry a slave girl, your child would be a slave. So this is why it is not recommended to marry the slave girls as long as you can marry the free are those who are not slave, the free women. So that is one issue. The second issue is, even when you want to marry the slave girls, they should be chaste, al-muhsanat, and they should be al-mu'minat, they should be believer. Because if the slave girl is not chaste, then of course, first of all, she is a slave girl. Second thing, she is not chaste. Then what is the good in marrying such a woman? You have to discard her completely. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَلَعَمَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكَةٍ وَلَوْ عَجَبَتْ. Don't go for any mushrik lady, any kafir lady. and a slave girl who is a believer is better than a mushrik girl. So the condition of Iman is very vital condition even for the slave girls. So it also shows that though you are allowed to marry a kitabiya, a Jewish girl or a Christian girl, and she is free, but you have to make that comparison that should you marry a Jewish girl or a Christian girl who is a free woman, or you want to marry a slave girl who is a believer. The Jewish girl is given preference. Why? Because of her freedom, because she is a free woman. But the slave girl is given preference. Why? Because she got Iman. Jewish women or Christian women got no Iman, no faith. So that is the preference which you have to give. And anyhow, some ulama said that marrying a Jewish or a Christian girl is preferable. Why? Because your child will be free, because they are free women. Unlike marrying a slave girl, your child will not be free in that case. Wallahu a'lamu bi imanikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows more about your faith. And it shows that sometimes you despise a slave girl, but as long as she is a faithful girl, she got Iman, then you should look for that Iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those women, those men and women who got faith in them. So you also go for those people who got faith. Wallahu a'lamu bi imanikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows better about your Iman, so always go for the faithful ones. Ba'dukum min ba'din. Some of you from the other, or you are one from another, which means that when you want to marry these girls, you may think that they are inferior in their status. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying us, no, they are all coming from same Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. They are Banu Adam, they are the children of Adam, so you are one from the other. So you must not think in these terms of racial inequality. No, they are all the children of Adam. That is one meaning. Ba'dukum min ba'd. The second meaning would be that if you don't marry the slave girls, you should marry from your own Muslim woman, because ba'dukum min ba'din, one should marry the woman or the sister of someone else or the daughter of someone else. In this way, you believers, you are from the same group, one from another, and you can marry from your own clan, from your own group. فَانْكِهُهُنَّ بِإِذْنِ أَهْلِهِنَّ. Then marry them with the permission of their owners. When you marry a free woman, then the permission is required of her guardian. And who is the guardian of a free woman? Father, brother, uncle, grandfather. These are the awliya, or the guardians of a free woman. But in the case of a slave girl, who is the guardian? The guardian is the master, the owner of that woman. فَأَنْكِهُهُنَّ بِإِذْنِ أَهْلِهِنَّ. Don't marry them but with the permission of their owners. So the permission of the master of that woman is required. And it is said that if a slave man marries without the permission of his master, the marriage is dependent upon the consent of the owner. If the owner gives his consent, this marriage is valid. If he does not give his consent, the marriage is to be null and void. But in the case of a slave girl, if she marries without the permission of a master, this marriage is null and void, even if the master gives the consent later. No, because the consent should be obtained before the marriage. And it also shows that the permission of the guardian is so important in both ways, for a free woman and for a slave girl. The Prophet ﷺ said that لا نكاح إلا بولي وشاهدي عدل. No marriage is valid without a guardian and two witnesses. And he said, أيما امرأة نكحت بنفسها فنكاحها باطل فنكاحها باطل فنكاحها باطل. Any woman who marries by herself, her marriage is batil, is null and void, 3 times. And then he said, الزانية هي التي تزوج نفسها. The adulterous woman is the one who marries herself by herself, who got no wali at all. So the presence of wali is required. In case of a new convert whose parents are still kuffar, she got no wali at all. So in that case, she can appoint a Muslim father as wali. In the same way, that woman whose awliya or whose guardians got a dispute about the marriage. Some of the guardians say, all right, we allow the woman to marry. The others say, no, we don't allow her. Or they dispute about the choice of the woman. So in that case, the woman can go to the Muslim ruler of the country or of that town in which she lives. And then, according to the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, as-sultanu waliyu man la waliya lah. Sultan or the ruler is the guardian of that woman who got no wali at all. In all these cases, wali is required. And in the absence of wali, the Muslim brother should act. But a woman herself can't conduct that marriage by herself. Now what about if the owner of that slave is a woman? So you will say, all right, the owner is the woman. So in that case again, that woman is going to appoint some man to conduct this marriage, or to give the consent. فَانْكِحُوهُنَّ بِإِذْنِ أَهْلِهِنَّ وَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ. And give them their dower amounts. Again it shows that the dower amount is a major component of the marriage. First of all, the guardian. Second, ijab and qubul. Both couple, they agree to marry each other. And the third thing, 2 witnesses. And the fourth thing is the dower amount. The dower amount should be fixed at the time of the marriage. But there is a concession which is given here. If a dower amount is not fixed at the time of the marriage, then the marriage is valid. But after the marriage, mahrul mithl is going to be appointed. What means mahrul mithl? It means that the woman whose dower amount is not fixed at the time of the marriage, we are going to look at her family or the family of her husband. And we will try to find out what was the dower amount of the woman similar to this woman. So this type of mahar is to be appointed, and the man has to give that mahar. وَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ. Give them their ujur, their dower amounts. It shows that even when you are marrying a slave girls, you have to give the dower amount to her. According to this ayah, this dower amount will go to the woman. But according to Imam Shafi, he got the odd opinion in that. He says that because she is owned by her master, so the dower amount would go to the master, not to the woman. وَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. According to the custom, according to what is known in that town, in that place, muhsanatin, with this condition that these women should be chaste. غَيْرَ مُصَافِحَاتٍ وَلَا مُتَّخِذَاتِ أَخْدَانٍ. غَيْرَ مُصَافِحَات. Now, see these 2 words. The 2 types of women are mentioned here, and that these women should not be declaring their adultery, meaning they should not be prostitutes. So غَيْرَ مُصَافِحَات means those women, sifah here means those women who declare that they are prostitutes. وَلَا مُتَّخِذَاتِ أَخْدَانٍ. And those women who got friends, who are confined to one person, which is the concept of boyfriend and girlfriend. The person is confined to only one person, whether boyfriend or girlfriend in the case of the man. So these women should not be either declaring their adultery and not even having just friends among the opposite sex. So if these two conditions are found in the slave girls, meaning they should be chaste and they are not having this adultery and not having friendship, then the marriage is allowed. فَإِذَا أُحْسِنَّ. So when they are married, فَإِنْ أَتَيْنَ بِفَاحِشَةٍ, and then they commit adultery, فَعَلَيْهِنَّ نِصْفُ مَا عَلَى الْمُحْصَنَاتِ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ, then upon them is half of that punishment which is given to al-muhsanat, to the chaste women. I have explained before that the word ihsan or hisn, it is used in some cases for Islam. If a person becomes Muslim, he is also known as muhsin. It is also used for chastity. Muhsanatin here means the chaste woman. And it is also used for the married woman. Once a person is married, he is known to be muhsin, and if she is a woman, muhsana. So these are the three applications of this word. Now here, what is the meaning? We know that in the case of an adulterous person, he is to be flogged 100 times. The person who commits adultery, whether he is a man or a woman, as long as he is not married, he is to be flogged 100 times. And if he is married, or if she is married, then should be stoned to death, which is known in Arabic as a rajm. Now here it says that if these women, فَإِذَا أُحْصِنَّ, when they marry and then they commit adultery, then they should receive half of that punishment which is given to muhsanat. If you mean by muhsanat the word, the meaning, the second meaning, which means the married woman are, if they do adultery, if they commit adultery, they have to be punished, stoned to death. So, and there can't be half of that punishment. So you can't take the meaning al-muhsanat as the married woman. You have to take the other meaning, which means the chaste woman. Chaste women who are not married. And what is the punishment for them? Flogging 100 times. So it means that if the slave girls commit adultery after the marriage, then they should be flogged 50 times. That is the half of the punishment which is given to the married woman. What about a slave girl who is not married and she commits adultery? The Prophet ﷺ was asked the same question. And Prophet ﷺ replied, she is to be flogged as well. So we can say, for a married slave girl, the punishment is given in the Quran. And for an unmarried slave girl, the punishment is given in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The punishment is the same. 50 times flogging. But one is proved from Quran and one is proved from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So in this case, we got no ambiguity about it, that there is the punishment. Those people who deny the punishment of rajm or stoning to death, they take the evidence from this ayah as well. They say, first of all, stoning to death is not mentioned in Quran at all. So from where did you get it? Second thing, they say that in Surah An-Nur, where the punishment of adultery is given, only 100 times flogging is mentioned, rajm is not mentioned. And the third evidence they say of this ayah, that the slave girl should be punished half of the other woman. So they say you can't half the punishment of stoning to death, so it means that the only punishment which is given in the Quran is 100 times flogging, which can be halved. These are the three evidences they produce to deny the punishment of rajm or stoning to death. What we say in answer to that, as far as punishment stoning to death is concerned, that was known to Ahlul Kitab. It is explained in Bible, in Tawrat. And when this case of a Jewish girl was brought to the Prophet ﷺ, Prophet ﷺ asked them, They wanted a decision from the Prophet ﷺ, thinking that the Prophet may give something softer, because they knew that the punishment in their religion is stoning till death. So they came to the Prophet asking, what is the issue or what is the punishment? And Prophet ﷺ said, all right, bring me the book, your book. And they tried to hide the verse which says that the punishment is stoning to death. So Prophet ﷺ was given the same hukm, or same judgment. So it shows that this issue in particular was retained in Islam. It was not abrogated. And Prophet ﷺ with his action proved it, that this punishment is still continuing in Islam. There are at least 4 cases which were brought to the Prophet ﷺ in his times. Among them was the case of a man, and another case of a woman from Ghamid, the tribe of Ghamid, and then 2 cases of Jews. So 4 cases were brought in which Prophet ﷺ has shown us that this is the punishment. And then there is this ayah or this hadith in Al-Bukhari which says that Sayyidina Umar said that the Quran which was revealed to us has given us the punishment of the adulterous person to stone him to death. The wording is in this way: الشيخ والشيخة إذا زنايا فرجموهما البتة نكالا من الله والله عزيز حكيم. That if a shaykh and shaykha, it means here the married man and the married woman, commit adultery, then stone them to death, and that is to become an admonition for all the people. So he says that this ayah was used to be recited, but later it was abrogated. The recitation was abrogated. But the meaning of this ayah was not abrogated, because Prophet ﷺ applied it. Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Usman, Sayyidina, all of them, all khulafa after the Prophet ﷺ have applied this punishment. So we can say that the ayah of Surah An-Nur gives the punishment of unmarried person, which is 100 times more. And as far as this ayah is concerned, this ayah is very clear when it says that if these slave girls after marriage, if they commit adultery, they will receive half of the punishment of al-muhsanat. Let us think about the word al-muhsanat here. What does it mean? Because the whole issue is dependent upon the understanding of this word al-muhsanat. As I told you, al-muhsanat means married woman. If we say that al-muhsanat here means the married woman, then the matter is difficult, because the married woman's punishment is stoning to death, and it can't be halved. The other meaning is just free woman, chaste woman. So, what we say here, that the word al-muhsanat starts with al. In Arabic language, this type of you can say that in Arabic expression, al counts a lot. What types of al it is? Sometimes al means it includes all the things. Sometimes it does not include all, but it includes some which have been already mentioned. It is also known in other language. You say that you are relating the story of a person known as Khalid, and you say Khalid does this. And after that you start using he, and he did it, and he did it. And everybody knows that he means here Khalid. In the same way in Arabic, when a word is used with al, you have to see in which context it is used. Sometimes it indicates to the same word which is used in the beginning of that context. This al is known as al lil ahad. Al lil ahad. Al lil ahad means that this thing is known to you in your mind. Either it is in your mind, al ahadu zihni, or it is known in the text itself. For example, Alif Lam Mim Zalikal Kitab. La rayba fihi. Zalikal Al Kitab. This is the book, and no doubt about it, that it is from Allah. This is the meaning. Zalikal Kitab. So when you say Al Kitab, why Al Kitab? Why Al here? Why? Because Quran was so known to the people that whenever it is said Al Kitab, everybody thinks about Al Quran. There was no other drama books, no other fiction book. Whenever in that society Al Kitab is said, it means Al Quran. So this is why this Al Kitab is always indicates to something which is in the mind of the people. Questioning of the grave, the two angels would ask certain questions. Man Rabbuka, Ma Dinuka, Ma Kitabuk.